Welcome to my channel. I'm MrTieDye, and today we're going to explore with the Spiderweb. So this is the t-shirt that I get the most questions out of. Well, maybe not the most, but I get a lot of questions whenever I wear this t-shirt, and it's not even a tie-dye t-shirt. It's a sublimated t-shirt, but the two designs on it, the spider and the Spiderweb, are both from my designs in a company called The Mountain. Did the dye sublimation and printed this t-shirt. So anyways, here is the Spiderweb Tapestry that they used for that t-shirt, and I haven't done a Spiderweb design. I've had lots of requests for it. This was a stitched design. So anyways, I decided that, oh, and there's the spider from the t-shirt. I do have a simplified spider design video up, but I haven't made one for the Spiderweb yet. So now this one, of course, being stitched, has more detail in it, and the Spiderweb itself is white because I used thick water on it and then dyed the rest of the tapestry in the black and blue there. But if you want to get a more detailed design, you can stitch your Spiderweb, and all I did was fold this in half, and then I folded it in quarters. And then from there you can see that this line here is one of the lines on the web. I stitched up that side, I stitched up this side. Yeah, see, I didn't fold it perfect, but and I stitched up the middle, and then I stitched each one of these lines here. And then I pulled those and dyed it. So that's your nice detailed Spiderweb design. But what we're going to do is fold a more basic Spiderweb design. So you can do it either way, but I figured since this is October, we're about a week into October, that it was time for a new Halloween video. So the Spiderweb has been the one that's been most asked about. So I am working on a tapestry here, a small one from Sunshine Joy. It's got hemmed edges, it's got loops for hanging. Anyways, this is one of their smaller ones. So what I'm going to do is fold the tapestry in half. I did it lengthwise because it's a little bit longer, and then I'm going to fold it in quarters. So this here is the middle edge, these are the outer edges. Now that makes this the middle of my tapestry. That's something that you don't want to lose track of. Okay, now that we have this folded down into the quarters, I figure I could zoom in a little bit more. So once again, this here is the middle of the tapestry. And what I'm going to do is take this edge, fold it over, and just line it up right here along this. I made sure to hold that point so this does not fold that over. And then I'm going to pick this up. I usually just grab the point here and right where it joins, because I'm going to fold this underneath there. So just pick that up and you can flip that right back down. Okay. So now what I want to do is I'm going to pleat right up the center of this tapestry, and you can draw yourself a line, and there's a couple ways that you can draw the line. First off, since let's open this back up again. Okay, so this here is 90-degree corner. I fold that in half, and that's now a 45-degree angle there. So now folding this down the middle, I want a 22.5-degree angle. So there's a couple ways you can lay this out with your protractor here. Line up right at the point, line everything up, and then you can mark out 22.5. That's approximate there. But the easier way that you can do this is to take one of your edges and just fold it and line it up here. So you're basically just lining up and doing another half fold there to get the middle, and then I'm going to mark this line here in a few places. fold that back down, and now I can see that line, and this is my original dot, so you can see that both ways got me a line pretty close to the same spot there. So now, and I'm only going to go out, you've seen that this is the edge of my tapestry because it's longer than it is wide, so I'm not going to bring my spider web out past that edge. So that's why I drew that last line right there at the edge. So here is the edge of my tapestry, and I can even draw a line right along there. That's how wide the tapestry is. So I'm just going to fold my spider web right out to that edge. So I'm going to draw my center pleat line. Like I say, you don't have to be this precise with it. You can just kind of do your own little pleat approximately up the middle. But like I say, I just like to show ways of marking things out. So I'm going to go with just a little bit of a taller pleat here. So maybe just a little bit more than an inch high. And I think I'm going to stop right there because the edge of my spider web is right there at the edge. So I'm going to just stop right there with that. The rest of this, I'm going to kind of just give it a little bit of a scrunch. Just to kind of separate between the pleating and the outer edge of the spider web. Trying to keep my last pleat in there. So, and you can finish this off however you like, but I like to have just a little bit of separation, so I'm going to do a little bit of a pleat, a scrunch, and then we're just going to loosely tie this up. And you do want to make sure you have your last pleat separated out there. Because that's what we're going to dye then, is the tops of these pleats here. That's what's going to help form our spider web. Alright, so now we're just going to tie this off. Okay, and then the other thing on top, I know this is my last pleat right here that I'm going to dye. Is this one here. Because the edge of my tapestry comes out right there. So I'm going to dye all of these pleats right up there. So now on the back side, basically what I'm doing is I'm going to dye this pleat last, the one right next to it. So I'm going to go from here and I'm going to the inside edge to this one. That way I know that I'm dyeing my two edges, or my top and bottom of my spider web at the same place. So you can see that that line is just the next pleat in. Anyways, so then I kind of separate that out some. And you could even put a plastic barrier down in there if you wanted to. And I've done that before with my plastic sheeting stuff here that I cut my templates out of. So I just keep spare pieces like this. So I could cut up some little pieces of that and just stick that down in there just to provide a border. But I'm not going to worry about my color because I'm going to color this in purple and the rest of this probably in a blue, or I'll do maybe a green. And then on the other side I'm going to dye this in orange, and I'll dye the rest of that in green. And I don't mind a little bit of color blending there. I'm going to get some brown because I am working with purple, orange, and I'm going to get my green out. So I'm going to get a little bit of brown, but I don't mind the brown. I like the mixing and the flowing of the colors. So what I'm going to do is get some gloves on. We're going to come back and put some dye on this thing. So stay tuned. Okay, so like I say, we're going to use deep orange. This here is a purple that I kind of mixed myself. I had some plum and I had some deep purple, but then not enough, so I added some turquoise and some fuchsia. So it's just kind of a mixed match of purples here, but it will suffice. Okay, so the top one layer here, I'm going to dye in purple. So what I'm doing is using a darker color and then a lighter color or a contrasting color. And that's what's going to, you want the two parts of the web, the top and the bottom, you want those to stand out from each other because that's what's going to create the illusion of the spider web. So I'm dyeing the top one in the dark color of purple and the bottom side in orange, and then the outer edge in this bright green. The bright green I mix up myself. I just use 3 parts lemon yellow and 1 part turquoise, and that'll give you a nice bright green. If you want it even brighter, then I would just use more yellow and less turquoise. But if you want it more greeny, leaning into what, like a Kelly green, then you would just add more turquoise to it. Oh, and the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure to dye down on the edges. I'm dyeing top and bottom with the purple, but then the purple I'm also going to dye right along these edges where I folded, because that's going to be some of those lines that go up on the spider web. So basically what I'm going to do is pick it up, and instead of having one side dyed purple and the bottom side dyed orange, I want all of this edge to be all in purple. So I'm going to just kind of flip it over a little bit. Let me see if I can, how I can do this. So I'm kind of dripping things, but just trying to show you guys what I'm doing here. So I'm just going all along the whole edge there. I'm not trying to encroach too much into the middle part there. I just want to get this bottom edge dyed of these pleats. To me, that just is going to help form the illusion of the spider web. So this is a design I've been thinking on for a while and had lots of different ideas, and I did some discharging on some t-shirts and didn't quite get the effect I was looking for. I thought maybe I'll get a better effect out of the dyeing, but I probably will still have another idea for the discharged spider web, so I'll get a video out on that also. Okay, so there's my purple. Now I'm going to dye the back edge in this bright green. Oh, it looks like I must have added more turquoise to this. I think I was probably running low. Usually it's a little bit brighter than this, but that's okay. I'm going to take my orange, and like I say, this is the pleat that I marked off, so I'm just going to dye right up to that one. Once again, you could put something in here to separate this. I'm just wanting to open it up just to make sure that I can get good saturation all the way down into that crease. But I'm not worried about the colors blending. But if you are, like I say, you can put the little piece of plastic separator in there and just cut several of them to go all the way along. That is the spider web. So I'm going to put this away to batch for 48 hours, and I'll wash it, and you guys will see the results in about 2 seconds. Thank you. Good morning. Welcome to Hippie Christmas with Mr. Tie-Dye. So we got the spider web designed to open up here. Liking the color in here so far. And there's some spiderwebby look. Well, let's change the camera and open this up. Alright, here we go. Okay, so there's our Halloween spiderweb. I'm liking it. Alright, I'll get this washed and you'll see a better picture here in about 2 seconds. Peace.